Christina, I haven't filmed the video in a while. I wish you good luck on your road trip. Ironically enough, today's video is about accountability, and how accountability has been this kind of central theme in this last couple months about my kind of next stage in development. In terms of the way I'm thinking about it, there's kind of three major types of accountability. One is there's accountability to yourself and the things you set out to do and the things that you'll say you'll do. There's accountability to others in terms of your actions and how you hold yourself to other people. The third thing is holding others accountable. In all of those, I struggle with different aspects of it, and I'm not perfected anyway, but how I'm trying to deal with them and learn about them in those ways. I think the first thing is accountability to yourself. Throughout my whole life, I've always felt like I was the idea guy. I was someone who could come up with a really awesome idea or had all these awesome plans and could help navigate them, but I could never follow through. Or maybe I would start something and then kind of give up and then just finish it half-ass at the end. But the ability to stay accountable and stay on something throughout the whole time has always been a challenge for me. And something that I didn't really value or didn't realize it was important until probably much more recently. And for a while, I had this really big fear of not even wanting to start things because I felt like I would fail and give up and quit, and it would just weaken my confidence and hurt me even more. It's this concept that I talked with Christina about. I think you have very low control over yourself and low impulse control, and when you set out to do things that you don't accomplish them, and that creates a subconscious distrust within yourself. And I think for the longest time I had that, especially since I was the guy who said, "Oh, let's go skydiving, let's do this." And then it would always there'd be some talk, but there was never follow through. One of the big things in my life is to try to follow through more on ideas and push through them when they're uncomfortable. And it has been really challenging. And I would say I've been failing more than succeeding as of late. But that doesn't mean I'm going to stop trying. It doesn't mean I'm going to keep myself accountable. Even with this YouTube video, I was thinking maybe I'll just upload it next week. But this time I realized that I just need to get a video up. I kind of know what I'm talking about, even though this video is 2 days late. The second one is accountability to others. Accountability to others is kind of in two parts. It's one in following through on responsibilities and fairness, right? And the second one is acknowledging boundaries and how you affect other people and holding yourself to those standards. The first one, I think it has a lot to do with, for me, the biggest thing is with my family, is doing my fair share. You know, if my parents asked me to do something, to follow through. Growing up in the middle class, in the sense of entitlement, is the fact that you can game the system to get better for yourself. An example for the responsibility thing. Let's say I'm like in 8th grade and my parents are like, "Hey, we want you to start doing our laundry." And I'm like, "I don't want to do my laundry." So, let's say I just leave my laundry. I just refuse to do it. And basically just protest my way into getting them to do my laundry for me. And it works. I win. I get my laundry done for me. They yield. I have the control. I have the power, right? And I used to think that was a skill. That was something you should covet. The ability to manipulate people to do what you want. Now I understand things. Now I think about things like fairness and pulling my fair share and the responsibility, and I realize how shitty that is to do to someone, or how shitty to have that person do that to me. It's that middle class entitlement that can lead to these fucked up relationships with people. Doing basic things, not trying to game my way out of it, and hold myself accountable to what I think is fair and what we've agreed on is fair, is so important. And something that I'm really, really working on. I'm still, in a lot of ways, very immature and not really good at pulling my own weight, but it's something that I realize is important, and I don't want to be someone who's unfair, who's selfish. The second part of accountability to others is, I think, accountability to others' feelings and emotions and boundaries. So, for instance, let's say making a joke about someone's hair, right? If someone made a joke about my hair, I wouldn't think twice. I'd be like, "Oh, yeah, haha, my hair is whatever." It doesn't bother me in the slightest. But that doesn't give me complete credence to make fun of other people's hair, right? There used to be some part of my mind that I thought that making fun of somebody's hair, and if they were a little bit stung by it, I was toughening them up, that by making fun of them, they would care less and less about their hair. And I do think that there's some element of that's true. But I also think in some element you're abusing your relationship with them for without their consent, right? So the way I see it now is similar to the way I see the stop rule, is that it isn't my job to know or to fully understand why something hurts someone's feelings or why something is inappropriate, right? I think there's a level of fairness to making fun of someone or bringing something up. But at the end of the day, if someone says, hey, can you not talk about that? That hurts my feelings. Can you not talk about that? That brings up some bad memories. If they're my friend, I should trust that, right? If we're in a situation where someone is being vulnerable and explaining that to me, I should hold myself accountable to them and be like, you're right. If you don't want me to talk about it, I won't talk about it, right? Because we are in a shared relationship and bond. My accountability is to you is to not breach that trust, to have faith in you that you know your boundaries, you know your emotions, and you know how to take care of yourself. And if that means me stepping back sometimes, then that's what that means. Afterwards, if we need to have a conversation, like, hey, I actually think my comments were fair. I think they were silly. I like to joke around. Do you not want to joke around anymore? And if they say no, then that's what it is, right? Then I have the choice to either back out of that relationship, to engage them in the way they want to be engaged, right? But at the end of the day, I don't see myself as someone to just treat people the way I want to treat them no matter what. Them tolerating how I treat them is not an excuse to treat them however I want. The element of accountability, which is, I think, one of the hardest ones, is holding other people accountable. I think generally I've been a lot harder on myself than I do with my friends, for instance, right? I think my family is kind of the exception, but with my friends, if my friend litters or if my friend says something that I think is incorrect or offensive, I'm not the kind of guy to say, hey, don't say that, or hey, blah, blah, blah. I like to let it ride. I like to let the jokes flow. I don't want to upset anyone. Personally, I just still don't know where I stand on this issue. I think that it is important to hold your friends accountable, say things that, hey, that's offensive. You say, I have a friend who has a girlfriend, and then they start flirting with another girl. What do I say? Do I just say, hey, hello? Do I really take them away? Do I say, hey, you can't do that? Where is the trust and responsibility as a friend line cross? How much can I hold somebody accountable to their standards? What kind of relationship do we have? And I think my default answer is to let people do what they want to do. I hold myself to my own moral standards. I'm not going to hold anybody else to those standards. But I also think that as a friend, that they deserve to know that I don't think this is okay. They deserve to be held morally accountable. They shouldn't have friends just let them do whatever they want, even if it's fucked up, even if it hurts people. That level of moral accountability is something that I struggle with. And it doesn't necessarily have to come out in interactions and confrontations. But there should be some level of, hey, I don't think this is right. And in my own life, I find myself being someone with high potential, high energy, but very low follow through, very high inconsistency. I think that's like one of the big things I'm lacking in my life that I wish I had. And that doesn't mean everything I start I need to necessarily finish. But that means if something's my goal, I should hold myself accountable to complete that goal. And that could be anything, whether it be my homework, whether it be going on a diet, whether it be this YouTube channel, right? Holding myself accountable to those things. Really, to say something, to put your mind to something, and to follow through on it is one of those superpowers that is really unmatched. And I think being accountable is one of the big steps, along with being humble and having good intentions and having trust. It's one of those key steps to really affecting good on the people around you and affecting good on yourself. So that is something I'm going to be working on. There are two things from the homeless challenge that I still haven't done that I will do. There's this YouTube channel. We still haven't done our punishments, and I will have to figure those out as well. There are so many things that I need to catch up on, but I will try my best to finish them, and the things I said I will do my best to do. And yeah. All right. Goodbye.